Update 38 brought us this new intermediate map called the Water Park, and in this video we'll find out how far we can get using only the floaties. Stick around. So the title is a bit inaccurate. The challenge that we're doing is that we're only allowed to place towers on the 3 floaties, but also these 2 circular platforms and the lifeguard chairs. The water, the land, the slide, and the platform that the slide is connected to are off limits. We begin the game by placing down our free dart monkey and Adora in a position such that she can't reach the bloons in the upper track until the bloons are inside the second loop. The reason for this will become apparent when we get our third tower, which will be the engineer inside the lower loop. The engine will be upgraded into a bloon trap, and when the bloons are taking the upper track, they will go into the trap without Adora being able to attack them yet, making sure that we make good use of the extra income from the trap. Each round we retarget the trap to the active track, and at round 28 we get a lead to gold alk, which will eventually be turned into a rubber to gold, and we will also get one at the start of the other track. On round 33 we will get a 0-1-0 sniper for the camo bloons. This sniper will eventually be turned into an elite sniper for the cash generating ability and also for some DPS, but it will be upgraded later as now we want the NG to get most of the pops. Next we get a support Chinook in the upper loop. The middle path tier 4 and tier 5 abilities generates lives and a good amount of cash, and the heli can also be used to blow back bloons that make it past the trap so they have to pass it over again. We will also need to have the tier 5 heli later anyway to perform the ice edge trick. The next bit will be about filling the map with middle path snipers for their cash drop ability. We also go ahead and upgrade the heli to tier 5 and also get a spirit of the forest. This tower is great for challenges like this. Not only does it have a cash generating ability, but it also gives $1,000 at the end of each round and also some pretty good global DPS. As we start to reach the mid game, the bloon trap and the rubber to gold alks won't be doing as much for us anymore, so we will sell them to make room for even more snipers. When every space allowed in the challenge is filled up, we will keep this setup until we reach the mid 80s, when we will have enough cash to switch our farming strategy to one that is even more efficient. We will sell the snipers on the right lifeguard chair and buy an overclock, which you can't see because he is under the umbrella, and also a 0-4-1 ice monkey. And then we sell the 2 bottom snipers on the upper floaty and move Adora there as far down on the floaty as we can. Then we will door gunner the ice monkey with the heli and place an ultra boost in its place. The heli will then be moved around to allow us to place farms on the floaties. Normally you can't even fit 1 farm on a floaty, but if you freeze the water next to it you can fit 2 farms on them. For anyone not familiar with this trick, it doesn't break the rules, because the tower's center point is still on land and thus won't be sold when the ice is moved away. This way we create a 3 farm Monkeyopolis using the overclock to get the extra range we need to reach the 3rd farm. Then we place 3 more farms down again that we will later upgrade to get every tier 5 farm next to the Opolis, and we also sell the rest of the snipers to get a BRF next to Adora using the same ice trick, and also another overclock on the upper chair. And now we have ourselves a really good farming setup for this challenge. We will use the ultra boost to give 10 stacks to all farms and also 6 stacks to the Opolis, so it reaches all 3 farms next to it. And whilst we're ultra boosting one thing, we can use the other 2 overclocks on other farms. We also remember to collect and deposit money using the bank to earn a good amount of interest, and of course to use all our other cash generating abilities. We sold 1 sniper in the lower loop and placed down the ice monkey again and made it into a tier 5. This is because then we can use its ability to slow down the rounds, allowing us to get stacks on our farms faster, and also allows us to use our other cash generating abilities more and also allow us to survive longer before we need more damage. But that time eventually comes at round 95, so we sell the overclock on the upper chair and move Adora there. Then we quickly sell the farm and use the ice edge trick again to fit a flying fortress and a brittle to decamo the DDTs. I almost died this round since I didn't notice that 1 DDT slipped past me, but thankfully I had generated enough lives to tank the entire DDT. To deal with the camo situation, we get a homeland defense next to the fortress, and this tower will be used so that we can farm like this for as long as possible, so the fortress will also be given 10 stacks of ultra boost. Eventually, even this starts to fail, so we will make use of a new change made to the ninja paragon in a recent update. It now gives camo detection to all towers on the map, so we will get a simple degree 1 paragon in the lower loop for the extra DPS and camo detection and replace the village with a BRF again. On round 150, it's time to create the VTSG, but to do that we need to complete a bunch of things first and they need to be done quickly during a round. Step 1 is to move Adora to the middle floaty and then sell the ninja paragon and create a new degree 1 in the place that Adora was just in. We will then place a super monkey in the top right part of the lower loop and upgrade it into a 3-1-0. Before the round ends, we need to use Adora's long arm of light ability and then after that use the blood sacrifice ability. And the ability needs to be used early enough that it has time to recharge before the round ends. The reason all of this needed to be done will be clear shortly. Once the round is over, we can see that the Sun avatar has one range upgrade and also the extra range from the blood sacrifice. And the range is just enough for us to give it max sacrifices on the floaty that Adora is on. As we complete the sacrifice, the temple now loses the extra range from the blood sacrifice, but thanks to us using the ability early, we can now do another sacrifice in between the rounds. And the reason we used Adora's long arm of light ability before was so that Adora's range would increase to cover the avatar and let the sacrifice give the range buff to the avatar. So once we make another blood sacrifice, we see that it gives us enough range to give it all the sacrifices it needs, and also enough room to place the anti-bloon and the Legend of the Night outside of the temple's range. Had we gotten both range upgrades, we would not have been able to do so. And like so, the VTSG can be created in this challenge, and thanks to the Ninja Paragon it has camo detection. I did a second livestream here on YouTube last Saturday where I attempted to do this challenge but using Geraldo as my hero instead because I thought I needed his upgraded invisibility potion to create the VTSG, forgetting that Adora can also give range buffs. This attempt however was cut short by me being too tired to finish the run that day, as they take about 6 hours, but that was probably for the best since then I could start a new one using Adora instead. After creating the VTSG we also create a support temple using the ice edge trick again on the leftmost floaty. Then we can move Adora and use the ice trick again to fit a flying fortress and then start farming pops for the ace paragon. And then the perma brew will be placed to buff the temples and the ace. And the ultra boost will now be used to give max stacks to the temples as well as Adora, and an overclock can be used to speed up the pop farming process. On round 162 we get a degree 69 doomship, and then we will start farming pops for the NG using an XXXL trap in the upper loop, the Boomerang on the rightmost floaty, and the ninja with the Grand Sabo on the bottom chair. We also get the Spirit and the Elite Sniper back, as we still have a lot of paragons to build and just over a mil to do so. As the game progresses, I will turn down the effects more and more until they are gone to prevent the screen from being too cluttered and also cause the bitrate of the video to be very bad. On round 192 we sell the old paragon and get a new degree 72 ninja paragon on the bottom chair. We also move a perma-brewed sniper right next to the ninja paragon using a chinook we fit on the upper floaty using the ice trick again. This sniper will be our cripple Moab and we will give it 10 stacks of ultra boost as well. On round 198 we create our degree 70 Boomerang paragon in the upper loop, and then we place an archmage to start farming pops for the wizard paragon and also a sentry champion to help out our saving pops for the NG paragon, which we get on round 213 and it is a degree 71. Now we only have the wizard paragon and the apex left, as we won't be able to get a nav arc in this challenge. Again, we're a little short on money, so we will get some snipers and the spirit back again. In the 240s, things are getting very tough, so we need to start using Adora's blood sacrifice to not die. But thankfully, we got just enough pops to get a degree 70 wizard. And now, for the last paragon, the Apex Plasma Master. We place an ice monkey at the very top of the floaty, and then two very carefully placed villages, and then a dart monkey below them. Sell the ice and replace it with another dart monkey, and along with the two dart monkeys on top of the chair, we can use the double cross monkey knowledge to get two master crossbows and get an instant degree 30 apex. Then we place a super Brit above the villages, as this is the harder track of the two, and then upgrade the villages to Homeland and Call to Arms. Sadly, the Homeland can't reach the VTSG to give it the jungle drums buff, even with 10 stacks of ultra boost. But the Call to Arms village can reach the cripple Moab under the umbrella if given 10 stacks, so we will. The upper chair can then be filled with a glue storm and an ice Brit. We now have our setup. A VTSG, a support temple, every paragon except the Navarch, Homeland, Call to Arms, Ultra Boost, Permabrew, Transformed Adora, a Crippled Moab, Glue Storm, Super Brit, and an Embrittlement Ice Monkey that will be sacrificed to Adora and then replaced at the start of every round. A pretty good setup. Now let's see how far we can make it. First of all, I will place a few tech bots so I won't have to use all of the abilities manually all the time, as this game has quite some time left in it. I place them on the ground as I don't count them as part of the challenge, just a quality of life thing. But as we get past round 280, I will need to start microing the wizard and the ace paragon's abilities, as this is getting very hard and I really want to reach that iconic round 300. Round 289 was super hard. I needed to sell my villages and get a normal ice brittle next to my super brit and sell and rebuy Homeland for 100% uptime. Micro the wizard and the ace abilities and also use the master builder sentry explosion, and even then it was pretty close. Even trying as hard as I was, round 291 could not be beaten, even using all of this micro or even if selling the VTSG for the Legend of the Knight's Black Hole ability, because this round was just too brutal and too spread out. Nevertheless, round 300 is possible in this challenge, but you might need some decent RNG, and I will leave it as a challenge to anyone who feels like doing some late game on this new map. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more late game challenges, and I will see you in the next one.